everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Internet Ethan, and I do anime reviews on my favorite anime shows. Yesterday I was celebrating my birthday. Yay, happy birthday me. I am also taking a vacation from my job to relax. So today's my relaxation day. So I wanted to do like a bonus episode for you guys with the Naruto Shippuden, because you guys know that I'm reviewing, my regular listeners know that I'm reviewing Naruto Shippuden, the war, the Great Ninja War. So I decided to watch The Road to Ninja because I feel like somehow it's kind of like connected. So I'm just gonna go through it and see like where I can find like that connection like to the Great War, because they do show like all these like mini episodes like in between, like to give us a break from just having to watch the war. So I just decided to do The Road to a Ninja. So in that movie, I guess it started out with Naruto and his fellow classmates getting Naruto didn't get the recommendation. His classmates were getting like recommendation from their parents to be Jonin, and Sakura, I don't think Sakura parents did the recommendation. They said it would go straight to her head. Her head was too big for a recommendation. Which is kind of funny because I remember like in the older Naruto episodes, like she was being teased about her forehead, her wide forehead. So like, it was funny when they said that. And Sakura being annoyed with her parents took Naruto out on a date because Naruto was kind of feeling down, like looking around, really missing his dad a lot. And in some ways he did like resent his dad for being a hero and dying and leaving him all alone. And in some ways I can relate, since my mom passed away. I understand somewhat Naruto's feelings, and like not having your parent there and like wishing, they would have fought harder like to be with you. So in that area, like I do sympathize with Naruto feeling that way. So Naruto like had a falling out with his sensei when they were at the noodle shop, saying that he didn't like Nenma because he was like with his sensei, like Naruto had asked his sensei, what was his sensei name? Aruka sensei. Yes, his sensei is Aruka sensei. So he asked Aruka sensei to recommend him for Jonin, since Aruka is like the closest family member that he has. And for those of you who don't know Aruka Sensei is Naruto's teacher from the Ninja Academy, from his academy days. And I believe when he got like into the argument with Aruka Sensei, he was complaining about his dad. And I believe he refused to eat the ramen, which was weird for Naruto because that's like Naruto's favorite thing, like to eat. That's one of his favorite food is ramen. And when he said that he didn't like Menma, it kind of reminded me of an episode where Naruto found this boy. I think he was from the Sound Village, and his name and Naruto named him Menma because he was trying to find Menma to add to the ramen thing, I believe. It was something like that. So to hear him say that he didn't like Menma, like I don't know if that was something that he had forgotten when he said that, because he like traveled like to a different land to find the Menma root to put in the ramen to make it better. I remember him doing that. So when he said that he didn't like it, I don't know if he didn't remember or the writers didn't remember that he did that whole that they did that whole scene with him, with that boy that he named Menma. And I don't know if the boy died. No, I think he ended up having to leave the village. Yes, he ended up. The boy ended up having to leave the village. I don't think the boy died. He ended up having to leave the village. So after Naruto stormed out from Aruka Sensei, I believe he ran into Sakura as she was arguing with her parents, and they both decided to, not they both, Sakura just decided like they're just gonna go on a date. And before I forget, like I believe like the reason why they were being recommended for Jonin, they defeated not defeated really, like chased away some dead Akatsuki members. I completely forgot about that. I, I think that's how the show started. But they were like fighting like the dead Akatsuki members, which was Dedera, the guy who liked to, what was he? Art is an explosion. That's his thing. Art is an explosion. So Dedera loved his explosive, and I believe their accountant died. The guy that like takes people's souls and like creates. I guess in some way it's kind of like a puppetry thing. He's able to take the souls of others and like sew it onto himself, or is it the hearts of others? So he will have like he takes the hearts of people who he killed, and I guess they're so that causes him to live longer, so he can't be killed that easy. I forgot what his name was. And then there was Itachi who had died. And then there was that guy that had to pray for an eternity and draw circles in order to attack. And I believe his name starts with a J. Not for certain. So they ended up, so those were the four Akatsuki members that they were fighting in the beginning of the show and ended up chasing away. And after that you see the fake Madara, Toby, and the four Zetsus. So it turned out to be four Zetsu. They weren't really fighting the four dead Akatsuki members. They were actually fighting four Zetsu members. And I believe Obito and the Zetsu were having a discussion, and they were saying like the groundwork has been laid, because at that time one of the Akatsuki members was able to get a hold of Naruto and and imprinted on his ankle like the starting of the jutsu, but he wasn't able to see it as yet. And I believe like when they had like the Akatsuki, not the Akatsuki, sorry, the meeting with the Hokage about fighting the dead shinobis, like it was interesting. Like they didn't immediately like assume that the dead people they were fighting was reanimation, and I was kind of wondering like why wasn't that like a thought that came to their mind, like could it possibly be a reanimation? They like because they were aware of it at that time, so it kind of like bugged me why they didn't like think of that, even though it wasn't a reanimation. I don't know because if they didn't have the black eyes, why they didn't say that. But if I kind of wish that they would like I don't know like have that in there, and that the words won't roll off my tongue. Analyze. They didn't like have that in their like analyzation, like when they were like thinking about how it was possible for them to fight those dead guys. But even like in watching it, you can see like the Setsu doesn't possess the same strength as uh, the real Akatsuki members, because based on like the previous battles that I've watched, I could tell you can you can tell that there were fakes even if you didn't know, because they're a lot weaker and couldn't have been like defeated like or chased away so easily. Alright. So moving forward, like with Sakura and Naruto going on a date, Obito decided to. I think it was something he had been working on. It was had like a crystal ball that had like Project Tsukinomo. Like that was the first time we saw what Project Tsukinomo is. And apparently Project Tsukinomo is to you're supposed to live with what your heart desires. So if you live in a world with what your heart desires, like you won't be able to leave, because that's where you're supposed to be most happy. And I believe it ended up had to be like a red moon that started it. So like a red moon had to break the curse. So once he started the the I don't want to say spell. What can I call it? Once he started the jutsu, yes. Once he started the jutsu, um, Naruto and Sakura was transported into that world. And from previous episodes, the Sakura from that world was transferred over to into the world where they came from. But what was interesting to me was the Naruto from that world and transfer into into this world, because I thought like two of you can exist in the same plane at the same time, but for some reason that didn't apply to Naruto, and I just thought that was interesting. So I may not go over this like in like chronological order, so bear with me. So we already established that the Tsukinomo is like a world which your heart desires. So in that world, Sakura desired not to, because of the argument she had with her parents, she desired not to have her parents anymore. Like, and Naruto, who always wanted his parents, his parents was alive. So it ended up being that Sakura father parents were the ones that died to save the village instead of Naruto's parents. And in that version of the world, um, Sakura was treated kindly. She wasn't shunned like Naruto was, and everyone know that she was the child of the hero, which kind of made me like pissed off that the third Hokage for not letting the villagers know that Naruto was a child of a hero, so he wouldn't like get that discrimination that he he had growing up. I felt in a lot of ways it was like the third Hokage's fault that Naruto was like under such discrimination, even though he would have had the Jinchuriki. Like the fact that he didn't let Naruto had like that experience of knowing his parents. Like I think I mentioned that before. He took away everything of his parents. I don't think Naruto had a picture of what his dad or mom looked like. You never, you never saw that in his room, like in any of the episodes. You never saw a picture of his mom or dad. Like all his parents' belongings were like taken away from him. He never knew what his mom looked like, never knew what his dad looked like. And I blamed the third Hokage for like stripping him away from the memory of his parents, like not being able to know what his parents had done. And I kind of feel like he shouldn't have done that. That was like kind of like aggravated me in some ways. So okay, so back to the Suki. How do you, it's not rolling off my tongue. Project Tsukinomi? Yes, the Tsukinomi world. That's what we're going to call it. The Tsukinomi world. So, in the Tsukinomi world, Sakura didn't have her parents like just like she wanted. Her parents died a hero, and the village was kind to her. She was a child of the hero, and she got like a little free stuff walking around and being thanked. And she was being looked up to. And I'm like, dang. I was still thinking Naruto could have had that. But the characters, like Naruto's friend, were so different. Like, with Neji and Rock Lee, it was a little bit comedic. The bug guy didn't like Bug, and Akamaru and his master couldn't get along because he was a cat person. It was like, they were like total opposites to each other. And what was what was the other guy name? Had switched places, like their personality had switched places. It was kind of interesting to see, like everyone in the reverse role. Um, so Naruto, he can like where he went to live wasn't where his parents was. So that was like, which was kind of something that was also different in that world. Like different stuff like affected Naruto. Like his home wasn't where his home was supposed to be. And in some ways, it was nice to see him form the bond with his mom and his dad. Because at first, he didn't want to form that bond. Because he thought it was like they were not his real mom and dad, and he didn't want to open up his heart, really. He didn't want to open up his heart to those versions of his mom and dad. So he was kind of trying to distance himself. But in the end, he did opened up himself to them, and you know, it was nice for him to hear "Welcome Home." He didn't have that loneliness anymore. He had like that bond. And I believed in that world, Jiraiya Sensei had died protecting this scroll of prophecy. And it was interesting, like, in that world, like, the Naruto in that world wasn't called Naruto, he was called Menma. And I'm not sure what the story was behind why they changed the name. Because if I can recall correctly, Naruto got his name from one of Jiraiya's book. That's how his parents chose his name. So I'm not sure how they came up with Memma in that version of the world. So it was interesting that the Naruto there, like, he had like really cool skills, and I'm like, why didn't the actual Naruto have those skills? Like, he could summon math skills. I believe he had like a Kekkei skill. I'm like, and I was thinking like, if he had that skill, the Naruto that we are used to should also be able to have that skill. You know? So he was able to summon like like mask seven mask figures, but there were like versions of the Nine Tails that had like the mask figure, which kind of reminded me of like the Ten Tails that they were fighting. How the Ten Tails were able to summon those mini monsters. I think Naruto truly has that ability to summon those like mini monsters like with the Ten Tails, and in that version, like the Nine Tails there and the Nine Tails in Naruto, the Nine Tails there was like more bonded with each other, and he was able to summon like I can't even remember the name of his Kekkei Genkai, like that he summoned with those like was it four face mask creatures that was able to fight. Yeah, I believe it was four. And in that world, which I found interesting as well, was that Naruto was also a Jinchuriki, which kind of doesn't really make sense because in the version that we know, Naruto's mom was a Jinchuriki. So I don't like that whole part where we don't know like how did that Naruto like ended up being the Jinchuriki. Like did he and his mom did they decide to transfer that to the Naruto? Like I wish I would known like it would be nice to like know that backstory, like how did that Naruto end up with the Jinchuriki and why didn't his mom in that version remained the Jinchuriki? Like what was the reason behind that? And also in that world, his dad wasn't the Hokage. Lady Tsunade was the Hokage. And I thought that was interesting. I'm like, the fourth Hokage wasn't the fourth Hokage? Like, what happened to his ambition of being Hokage? Like, like he was a top Jonin, and he was still skilled as hell. Like, and it was nice to see Naruto feeling the love of a parent and that bond between parent and child. Like he experienced it, even though he tried to like reject them at first because they weren't his version of parents. Like he was still they still showed him so much love, and he was able to feel that bond, you know and it made him happy, and at the same time I think he was upset because he knew eventually he had to part ways. Yeah, but it was nice to see, like, even in that world, like his dad was still exceptionally skilled. And I think that was the first time he ever got disciplined by his dad, was when were like collecting the scroll from Jiraiya that was sealed in the forest. Like his mom like jumped in front of him so he didn't get like struck by one of the frogs, and his dad disciplined him for being mean to his mom. That he got his first parent discipline, and that was like, it was nice to see, like, and I was felt happy for Naruto for getting that experience like with his parents. So moving on, in that version of the world, the Akatsuki was able to be what they originally started out to be, like what Yahiko wanted them to be. I believe they're in that version of the world. They weren't criminals. Like they were able to achieve their goal. Based on what I've seen, like they were able to achieve their goal of like peace, you would say, because the Leaf Village hired them to protect the scroll, right? Was it to protect the scroll? Yes, it was to protect the scroll. So, and they really just did what they paid for. And it was funny that the four, it was the same Akatsuki members that came to their they hired that they had fought during in the first episode. It was those same four Akatsuki's that came to aid them. And what was interesting is that Madara wasn't known in that world because a lot had changed. Like even Toby said that he had no control over the world. It was more of an experiment. He was trying to see like what it is he can use to control. And I was wondering like if they're like if in that world he could have access to the Nine Tail, why didn't he try to take the Nine Tails in that world? Why didn't he do that? Like, if it's always his job to, his goal was to take the Nine Tails, why couldn't he take the Nine Tails from that world? Like, they had the same power. Like, why didn't he just use the Nine Tails from that world? It always bothers me that why didn't he just do that instead of trying to get Naruto there and try to take the Nine Tails from Naruto? And I believe in that world, the Naruto there, who was called Memma, he was stealing other people's Kekigenkai, I believe. I don't know how you can do that because that's normally something you cannot steal. Like, you can steal other people's jutsu, yes, but Kekigenkai is unique to everyone, and that's one thing that cannot be stolen. Not even the Sharingan can replicate Kekigenkai. That's how unique the skill is to that individual. So I'm not sure exactly how he was able to do that. And what's the other thing? Yes. So where the hideout for the Menma was the training grounds. That's located toward the end of the village where Jiraiya and Naruto's dad trained. But that's the hideout for Menma. And I believed he kidnapped Sakura and hold hostage. But Naruto went to save her. Though his parents were against it. They're like, if it's okay that you are unharmed, but we don't want to go and save someone else, and like they were putting him first. But he was able to reason with them, and he went and to get Naruto, and that's when the Hokage had hired, Lady Tsunade had hired what's his name, the Akatsuki there to help and save Sakura. And I do believe, like, within that moment when they were trying to save Sakura, that Madara, like, I think he tried to intervene with the saving. And that was when Itachi said, even though we can't see your body, there are ways to deal with you. And I think, and then Madara said, you're irritated even in this world. So, I think Itachi was always stronger than Toby in some ways. I believe Itachi was stronger. And Toby has mad respect for him. Moving on. So, while like Memma and Naruto was like before like they started finding like the Nine Tails inside of Naruto was itching like to fight the fake one, because because the nine tails, like, he can sense that there was another nine tails, like, inside. And because Naruto was so, like, inexperienced, I guess, Naruto, I don't know if he wasn't I think he was still able to go in Sage mode, so I don't know why. And for some reason, he's not able to sense, like, other Jinchurikis, like because that Naruto, he was able to sense the nine tail because of the similar spurt, but I don't know, the Naruto that we were used to, he doesn't have that sensibility yet. He hadn't gained that sensibility yet. He wasn't able to also sense the other nine tail. And you know, they went into battle, and what I found, like, really cool. Hold on, guys. My charger is about to die. Hold on, let me go ahead and get my charger before I'm, like, tapped out. Hold on. Alright. So, what was really cool about that Naruto battle was the tail beast transformation. It wasn't like the one that we see in the Great Ninja War. To me, that tail transformation, like, was more complete and was, like, way better. Like, the actual nine tail, like, came out kind of like how bee and octopus, you, instead of seeing octopus's chakra form came out, you saw the octopox. And in that version of the battle, you actually saw the nine tail, and to me that was the coolest thing ever. And I'm thinking, why didn't they had that transformation in the Great Ninja War? I mean, they were able to achieve it before. Like, so, I don't know, like, is that something that's gonna be unveiled in the future of the war? Because in the Great Ninja War, he's only able to do, like, the tail beast transformation with just, like, the chakra, and not, like, have the full nine tail beast, like, come out like B does. But in that version, he was able to unlock the thing, and they merged together, like, well, not really merged together, like, they had, like, that full transformation. The whole beast came out, and it was like a nine-tailed beast war. That was, like, one of the most epic beast fight I saw in a good while, and I loved it. I really loved it. So in some ways, in seeing that, I kind of felt cheated with the tail transformation with Naruto, because I felt like if they were able to do it back then, like, they should be able to do that full transformation, like, where you see the tail beast and not just his chakra, you know. And I hope that further on in the battle that will happen. But being that I did it before and they're not able to do it now, I kind of feel cheated in some ways. So I believe after the battle, like, during the battle, I believe, I don't know, they started showing us what Kushina and, like, the other version of Naruto's parents, like what they said to him. And I believe somehow those memories, like, as a baby, like, flooded into Naruto as to what his parents said to him, like, before they died. And he was able to see how his dad fought Obito with the Raijin Kunine. So if in some ways, like, he saw that and he replicated it. So I don't know if he has like short-term memory lapse. Like, if he like was able to do that, like within that in that world, like when they were like all three of them were fighting Madara, like how and why did he not remember that? Like, and remember like how he could like pass through Madara first and then like get him like like in the calculation between his materializing himself and stuff like that. The way he did it, like in that version of the world, it was like on point. He was able to check him based on the memories that like those memories are like being like relayed to him. So I don't understand, like, during that battle with him, Kakashi and Bushy Brow, like, why didn't it click? Why didn't that memory just click? You know, because you're supposed to have like muscle memory when you're fighting, right? So I don't know why didn't it click when he was fighting him again. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, did they forget that that happened or something like that? Yeah, yeah. I feel like they just conveniently left that part. Oh, like, and that kind of irritated me. Like, it's supposed to be like a continuation of everything. Like, don't leave some stuff out, you know? Don't leave the common sense of the battle out. Feel me? So in seeing that movie, like, I remember that I'm like, they could have beaten Tobito based on the what you learned from that battle, but they weren't able to. And I think in the end, he was able to break the because of that technique he remembered from his dad from defeating Obito the first time when he summoned before he summoned the Nine Tail. So where was I? Because I can have remember what I was gonna say. I, yes, I was concluding what I was gonna say. So in the end, like, he used that technique and he was able to break the Tsukinomo, and he had to say goodbye to his parents, which was kind of like a bittersweet for him, you know. So, and he did report it back, like what happened to them in that other world, and I believe that like ended the show. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like I just feel robbed that he didn't like remember in rewatching that movie. I feel robbed that he didn't like remember those techniques that he learned from the first Tsukinome Project Tsukinome, and I don't know like why. I don't know if he didn't remember much about it because Madara, the reanimator, kept talking about it, and I don't know, like, for some reason it just didn't click. Like when he was talking to Obito and Madara about the Project Tsukuyomi, like his experience back then, and and how it made him felt back then. Like, I don't know why he couldn't recall it back to them or anything like that. I don't know. Maybe the writers forgot that that he had that experience or something, but who knows? Maybe they'll work it out in future episodes. But that concluded the Road to Ninja. I didn't go through like everything piece by piece. I did like skip ahead to certain parts. But I'm trying to find like that's like the only connection thing that I'm seeing like to the Great Ninja War thing is the Project Tsukinome and the Battle of the Nine-Tailed Transformation, which could have been happening in the Great Ninja War, which hopefully I'll be able to see. That has not happened yet. Like, let's hope that they had figured it out. Let's hope they had figured it out because the series is already complete. So let's hope they had figured it out. Alright, well that's it for today. Thank you guys for listening. I'll be recapping again the Great Ninja War. Right now they're showing. I believe they've taken a break from the war and they're showing an extra episode with. I don't even know what to call it. It's an episode where it shows where Orochimaru used to be a member of the Akatsuki. And I believe that was also shown in the Naruto thing. Like, I believe Orochimaru left the Akatsuki because he couldn't compete with Itachi. He wanted the eyes of Itachi. But Itachi will get you if you test him. And I believe when he left, he stole something that could, like, take the Team Beast. And the episode started out with, kind of like with Frankenstein. I don't know if you guys watched the Frankenstein movie where the thunder was coming down and he had to revive Frankenstein. Like that's the vibe I got from that show. And they created like a Naruto, so, which is kind of creepy. Like, even though you're replacing Naruto, try to replace the robot vessel for Naruto. Like, why make it look like Naruto? Of all the persons, like, it was just creepy that they chose Naruto's face to like conceal as a robot to conceal, and Orochimaru was the one that built that contraption. And he had his whole Dr. Frankenstein moment with the whole lightning and thunder thing. And I call that was kind of cool that they pulled from that. Anyways, I think there's like 2 more episodes before they go back to the war. But I'll always be reviewing the war. So thanks for listening and see you again. Bye.